everybody.
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
to Coffee Table Talks. Today we have Jack Lambert, founder of Hackers in Hops. Not to be confused with, isn't there another
Hacks and
group?
Hops, yes. Not
Hacks
to be
and
confused
Hops.
with Hacks and Hops by
Yep.
FR Secure, another fantastic organization
Definitely.
up in Minneapolis.
Yes.
Minneapolis.
Yes.
I added a syllable to that.
That's okay. That's okay. I have a super secret squirrely signal group chat that Evan is in. And whenever I saw that he accepted the invitation to join this via LinkedIn, like yesterday, I screenshot it and I was like, best day ever. Best day ever. When Evan is going to be hanging out. So hopefully he'll drop in and say hello. So
that'll be awesome.
Just some basic housekeeping. So just so everybody knows, we utilize the Restream platform to stream this live across LinkedIn, X, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Hi, Mom. So Restream is having issues with LinkedIn and like sharing the chat. So our chat moderator, Meg, who's always in the background doing a fantastic job helping
Meg.
things, right? So I stopped making the deadpan face, the resting Rachel's typing or reading face. She's going to be chatting from LinkedIn and making sure that she keeps an eyeball on any questions or comments or anything else that you guys might have that are relevant to today's conversation, which, by the way, is always unscripted, unsponsored, and totally shot from the hip. It's always a fun time here at the Coffee Table Talks.
No pressure.
No pressure. Exactly. That's my ticker. Look, just so you know, you are where you're supposed to be. There you go. Coffee Table Talks, Jack Lambert, Hacks and Hops. Got it.
I know
Okay.
that guy.
Right? So I got to meet Jack. Actually, it wasn't this year. I met you last year.
You did, yeah.
At NOLAcon, which we just came back from. It was there was some workshops and things going on last week. And then me and the rest of the Secure Nation crew showed up Friday. And then it's all day Saturday and half of the day Sunday. And Jack is a warrior, you guys. So Jack sets up and runs and produces all of, like, I don't know, you just pull it out of your magic hat. We'll get to that later. But
yeah.
He makes the badges that you can look how it's such a voodoo doll. Okay, it's New Orleans, right? So when you get this thing, there's nothing here. It's just the board, right? Okay, great. Yeah, Jack's got a clean one. Okay, so there's nothing on it. And they give it to you and they go, good luck. There's no instructions or anything else.
So it's a build-a-badge workshop.
It's a build-a-badge workshop.
Oh, man, that's going to be on a badge now.
Build-a-badge workshop. So last year I got mine and I was there with some friends, Ryan Cloutier, and then of course Joshua always gets to go with me to the local things, which I'm so excited about. Like I get to take my husband. I'm like, look, it's not a figment of my imagination. He's a real person. And here he is. And then he goes, grumble, grumble, grumble. There's a lot of people. It's real people-y in here. But he's darling when he goes. He loves talking, especially to anybody new. This year we had my good friend Quinn Moore came with us and even brought another student from his college, his local technical college that he's here with. So they got to experience all of that. And John Davis was super gracious, like bought them all most of their meals, like all kinds of, this is a good dude. Okay.
Oh, John is awesome.
Yeah. John's a good dude. Anyhow, it was a lot of fun, but I met Jack the first time then when I sat down and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. What's that hot pokey ouch ouch thing over there? And Jack was like, so that's a soldering iron. And here is some solder. And I was like, ooh, shiny glue. And like, they sat down and taught me how to do this. And I did it myself. And I couldn't find my badge from last year because I'm an awful human. But I have my badge from this year. And it was so fun. I got to teach other people how to use the hot pokey stick ouch ouch with the shiny glue. And they did it too. I was so excited. They made the lights go blink, blink. It was great. Yeah, that was the one. Thank you. Yes. So It was fun. It's a great experience. You guys, these tables are stacked. Jack, how many tables did you have this year?
So we expanded it to 2 tables now, but these are massive round tables.
Yeah,
These
they're huge. They seat like
like
10 people.
10 people, and it was packed all time.
Mhm.
It was packed before we even opened.
Right.
I got a phone call. We're supposed to open the Soldering Village Day 2, for example, at 10 o'clock. So
Right.
it's 9:15. I'm walking over to IHOP to get some breakfast because, believe it or not, I do have to eat. And I get a phone call. It's like, hey, where are you? The tables are packed. People are already soldering. Like, I didn't even get to order my eggs Benedict. What am I supposed to do right now? But yeah, people were just so excited, and it was that way the whole con. It was 20 people, 10 per table, from the moment the doors opened until we finally had to kick people.
Yeah, it was
That's
nuts.
awesome.
It was absolutely nuts. So, okay, and like there were people that kept on stopping by trying to get their badge done, and then eventually they just like started a waiting list table over to the side. Brian was there. Brian Mills. The badges were the coolest thing I've seen at a conference. It also made me go home and look up a little project kit so I can do with my daughter because she thought it was so cool. Thank you, Jack, for being so patient with us novices. Aww.
Oh, I love that.
So,
I love
Jack,
that.
how did you end up running the Build a Badge? How did you end up doing that? When did you start?
That's such a great question. So in DEF CON 30, I wanted to try my hand at badge life. I got introduced to badge life, hashtag badge life. If anybody is interested in other fantastic badge creators. So I made a little one. I don't have one with me here, but I made this little tiny badge, and it's what I call my beer timer, because Hackers and Hops beer, it's what kind of in the name. And it was so silly, and I didn't know how to make the circuit. I didn't know how to make a PCB, and I whipped this thing out, and people loved it. But that's all my experience. And then out of the blue, a good friend of mine, Sidef, heathen hacker, he has been involved with NOLAcon for a long time, and said, "Hey, the badge maker from last year just pulled out." So I already told him that I know a badge maker, and you're it now. This is 60 days before the conference. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I've only made one tiny badge before. I'm like, I am not a badge maker. I don't have the tattoo or anything like that. But he just threw me to the wolves. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a badge maker now. And the thing with making these badges is, you have to go through the design work, the circuit work, and then you have to send all that information to a manufacturer, typically out in China, to make it. And your prototyping run usually takes anywhere from 7 days to 14 days.
Right.
So here I am again, 60 days out, don't know what I'm doing, and I still got to do prototype runs. That's what this particular badge here is, one of the prototypes.
Gotcha.
So that's how I ended up and ever since, the reception of the first badge was fantastic. And then the proprietor of NOLAcon approached me and said, "You are the badge maker until you say you don't want to do it anymore."
That's how I got Will as a co-host. That's 100%. That's 100% how that happens. Every time he shows up, I'm like, "Oh, you're here again! I'm so excited."
Well, I've got some students that would love to connect with you, right? Because at the DEF CON, it wasn't DEF CON, I think it was DEF CON 31. They couldn't find each other because DEF CON is so fucking large, right? So they made their own little badges with ESP boards and programmed in on the little displays the signal strength so that they could tell how far away they were from each other.
I would love to build.
Love to,
I had a little badge I had planned, but I don't have the knowledge to build it for the exact same purpose. But the effect was it was going to have a laser pointer with an individual lens, and it would be a bat signal. So if you're ever in the vendor area, you could just push your button, and it puts a bat signal over you, and anybody who's looking for you can look up and see it. But I don't. I'm not an electronics guru.
Can mine be a coffee cup when we get this? Because it's gonna roll. I can tell. I can feel the excitement behind everybody's screens. Well, I want a coffee cup. Can I have a coffee cup bat signal?
Yeah.
Oh, that rocks. So let me make sure I'll email you. One of our students are now trying to take that same idea with the boards into LoRa so that they can have
Yeah.
further communication, right?
Mm.
Yeah, long range radio for anyone on the stream not familiar with LoRa. Very cheap way to get into long range like SMS and chat communication. I got a project that's been sitting in a box. I've been hoping to get to at some point, but really interesting technology for anyone who's into hardware.
Oh, we're going to talk later. We're definitely.
Yeah, so the first QR code that popped up there will take you to the Secure Nation LinkedIn if you need to just rewind this recording a little ways, and then you can grab that. Go follow us for our next week's episode. The one that's flashed up right now leads you to the PIMA cybersecurity cyber program landing page. That's all stuff will related. We'll have a few more. They'll change. You'll see every 10 minutes or so because Meg is awesome and she probably is way more organized than me and has like a timer and stuff. I don't know. She just makes magic happen. But yeah, so there's helpful things that won't lead you to malicious sites.
Maybe. Just click it.
Just try it.
Just do it.
Just try it. It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Never
And
going to give you up.
it's gonna be great. You might not get rickrolled. You're not gonna get rickrolled. It's gonna be fine.
Now a word from our Rick Astley sponsors.
You gotta trust something sometimes, guys.
You do.
Yeah. Anyhow, so that's badge. That's badges. That's build a badge.
Badges.
Now it's going to be branded as build a badge.
Oh yeah. Someone's getting a bear badge at that conference, and it's going to say build a badge on it. That is happening.
You'll have to have a little heartbeat light or something.
Yes,
right?
like the little Build-A-Bears with their little hearts that you can put.
Funny you mention it because that's the theory behind this badge. Like if I real quick, the last thing I'm with this particular badge, I did a lot of new things that have never been done with a conference badge, at least to my knowledge. And one of those things is if you come to NOLAcon for 3 years in a row, this is badge 1 of 3. It's a series badge. Every year for the next 3 years, there's going to be a new voodoo doll in the series. And if you have all of them, you can interconnect them with the voodoo heart badge, which will synchronize the lights. The hearts will pulse and beat. But I haven't designed the circuit yet. So this is forward thinking. So if you haven't been to NOLAcon, come to NOLAcon. Get yourself part of the series. Last year's badges will be for sale. If just so you can complete the series, I made plenty.
I'm excited. I am so excited. I'm gonna get all 3. I'm gonna collect all 3. I'm a collector person though. So we were talking a little bit post show about Hackers and Hops, which I actually titled this after, and then we just talked about badges forever because I was excited about the badges. But that's how we met, right? That's how you and I first came to hang out together. Was Jack was not a douche when I didn't know what I was doing. Now, that is a great segue for Hackers and Hops because guess who else is not a douche when you don't know stuff? Everybody in Hackers and Hops.
Right. Yeah, the fastest way to get yourself kind of kicked out is shame somebody for not knowing something. Yeah. We've all been on our own journeys. We've all been new before, and we all hated it. I mean, I still to this day don't like the offensive security try harder model. And I think at this point, most people in cybersecurity will agree. Even though it is a struggle, the last thing you need is, go to a mentor, go to somebody who's supposed to help you. And the advice they give you is try harder. And so, Hackers and Hops was built from, I guess I should have waited for the question, but Hackers and Hops was built on the premise that we were a bunch of friends who wanted to be better. We wanted to be better at cybersecurity. We were all in the blue team realm. We wanted to learn a little bit more about contesting. And we were all doing these things, but on our own. We were reading books. We were doing at the time the very early model of Try Hack Me, and Try Hack Me wasn't even around then. Hack the Box was out there, and we were all doing these things on our own, but kind of here and there. We'd circle back and say, I just did a Hack the Box. It went great. You should try it. And it was one of those light bulb moments. We keep coming together every day at work and we're talking about these things like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to all meet up at my house this Thursday. Bring beer, bring your laptop, and we're going to do this stuff together. And then we're going to keep on doing it so that we keep ourselves honest with our own passions. We encourage each other and we make it fun. And so that's really how Hackers and Hops started. That was back in about the end of 2016, early 2017.
That's awesome. So that was before COVID.
That was before COVID.
Now you had some connections with the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range too. How did that?
That was just the group of people that I was really drawn to, attracted to, were the passionate type. Cyber isn't just a 9 to 5. I used to tell people when I'm done doing cyber work at work, I go home and do cyber work at home. I was very young, very passionate, and I don't actually know how I caught wind of the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range. But anytime something like that pops up, I'm like,
what is that?
Where do I give you my information? I'm signing up for this. And for a few months, I was doing that for sure. And that was actually, I think that predated Hack the Box, if I'm getting my timeline right. I think that
started around 2012.
Yeah. And so I'd have to go back in my email, find out exactly what year I heard of it. But yeah, I signed up right away. Anything. And I didn't even know how to do anything at that time. So just I gravitate to any organization that is trying to, keep hacking fun and put resources out there for people to learn. There's so many resources these days. It's almost easy to get lost in the sea of resources. But the real moral of the story is don't ever let yourself drown in learning resources. As long as you keep taking one step in front of the next, you're doing the right thing. It doesn't matter what path you're going. Just keep learning and just keep sharing and keep being excited about whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. Build the passion, right? Because that's what propels you in all of this stuff. Oh, dude, I love you. You're awesome.
I knew you would. I knew you would. When I sat down with Jack last year, he was too busy, but that's okay. Because this year I made it a point, and when I saw him just chilling over at the bar at the happy hour thingamajigger, I was like, I'm buying that man a drink. And I did. I think I made our friend next to us jealous because I did not buy him a drink.
No, you didn't. I think that was Chad. Chad was sitting next to us, and Chad's good people too.
Yes, yes. But he wasn't running the Build a Badge Village.
He wasn't.
I was like, look, I only got so much monies.
Right?
I love you though. You're really nice. I think we linked in together afterwards. But yeah, I definitely bellied up to the bar and was like, buy that man a drink. Whatever you want.
Oh, so I was targeted. I thought you were just going to get a drink.
I make it look so easy.
You did. That was smooth. You are a smooth criminal.
I can also do a lot of social engineering things. So if anybody needs just a soccer mom to show up and break into the back door of someplace, as long as we have permission, I'm good.
Yeah, and pro tip, if you ever want to social engineer me, buying me a beer first, great.
Worked every time.
Great starter.
It did. Look, I got him to show up. He showed up. It worked out well. I was like, hey, you want to do this free thing that's going to take 2 hours out of your day? Great.
Yeah, I do. I can't wait.
It's like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. So anyway, Hackers and Hops. I like it. I just joined the Discord literally 25 minutes ago. There's going to be a QR code at the end that can send you also to the Discord if you want to.
Yeah, feel free. We're an open group, and come in, introduce yourself. It is getting big. The Discord now has I think 500 people in there. Most of them don't talk much. Okay, but don't be intimidated by it. You'll see me. I'm one of the handful of red names in there. You can call me out, DM me, at me, whatever it is. Tell me. I'd love to hear about your journey into cyber. Where are you today? Where did you come from? I like to hear that. We also have a closed stream every Sunday meant for people who just don't like big crowds. Come in, and it's a lot like this. We just kind of socialize, and just kind of shoot from the hip a little bit. So
Yeah.
And that's fantastic because one of the so you mentioned you have folks that don't chat a whole lot. What that really means, everybody, is that's a place where you can pop in a question and get incredible responses,
Yeah.
right? Because so many of folks that are kind of sitting in the background are just waiting to go.
yeah,
And a small cry for help can get a huge response, especially when you have a great culture. And it sounds like you've got a fantastic culture
yeah, and
going on those lines
you
of supporting everybody.
and you can be rewarded for asking questions, and you can be rewarded for helping people. We built a custom Discord bot, and we have monthly contests where if you ask a question and somebody helps you, you can give them a cheers, and that gives them some points. And at the end of the month, we give away usually some pretty cool prizes. This month, for example, we're giving away an OMG data blocker from Hack Five. So yeah,
Sweet.
how do you protect yourself from malicious USB attacks with a data blocker? But how do you protect yourself from a malicious data blocker? Well, win the contest and you can experiment yourself.
There you go. There's some other fun things. So we did the lockpick village. So there's a lockpick village next to Build a Badge. And I got frustrated. I'm not even gonna lie. I got so frustrated. Usually I attempt to do stuff wholeheartedly with all sorts of optimism. Absolutely not. There was almost a lock lodged into drywall. I was angry. I think I was hangry. I think I knew then it was time to go round people up for lunch. But I was like, this is so frustrating. And my awesome husband saw that and was like, I know you want to win at this. I know how competitive you are. I know you're so mad that you couldn't do it. And he bought me a lockpick set.
Oh,
And it
that's
was
awesome.
like it was on our door when we got back from New Orleans. I was like, what is this? And he was like, something for you to be frustrated with at home.
Okay.
He didn't buy you a
Warning.
soldering iron though?
We have one.
Um,
We have one.
Oh well, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I
we already got one.
word of warning though, Rachel.
What?
Okay.
What?
So the guy I work with, Chris, his son, right? So Chris brought home a lockpick set, with all the nice transparent locks and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
His son can now, in very short periods of time, hop into most anything. If anyone forgets their key, it's like, and he's in. So just be ready for that, because the way you raise your kids to
So
think
that
and
was
to
my next
explore,
next
right?
comment. Yeah, Erickson has already started taking locks apart faster than mommy. He's 9. It's and I told Meg I'm coming. I'm I did. I already told the 12-year-old down the street. I was like, you gotta play with this. It's gonna be so fun.
when
Well,
you raise your kids to explore, they will.
no.
Yeah, let just explore within the confines of properties owned by you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that. Yeah, we had to have so we had to have a moral, ethical discussion around the skills that we're building and when they are appropriate and when they are not appropriate.
You have to
Like,
have the Uncle Ben talk. With great power comes great responsibility.
yeah, it was
So
that.
that's a good element. How do you build that in your culture, Jack?
I don't ask questions that I don't want to hear the answer to. No,
That's fair.
I it's difficult, right? I try to encourage everybody in Hackers and Hops, as well as everybody I meet, to let your curiosity drive. If you're curious about something, go explore it. Go try it. And sometimes you might get yourself in a little trouble. But just you have to have that inner voice. You got to listen to that inner voice that says, "Don't go any further. Don't go further than this. You've learned what you needed to learn. Don't exploit people. Don't I we put a lot of effort in Hackers and Hops at least once a year to teach people how to build training labs, build their own labs so they can do things safely. We highly encourage them to use platforms like Try Hack Me and Hack the Box so that everything is sanctioned. You have permission to do everything. Um, and that's all you can do. All you can do is, teach them the right things to do. If they go out and get themselves in legal trouble, which to my knowledge we haven't had that yet in Hackers and Ops, but you gotta try to lead them down the right path.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's the advantage of a community college, right? Is that we have a law and ethics class, right?
Yeah,
But also, the advantage of being in an in-person environment is that the whole team works to police that, and as well as set up the vision that we're here to try to help defend this nation, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because garbage is coming our way, and you've got that whole background um, along those lines. So I assume that's a big part of your culture as well, right?
It is. It is because I definitely don't want to make new adversaries. I'm still very much in the blue team operations role, and I don't want to ever, find myself in a cyber knife fight with somebody I trained. Um,
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna ask you. I was like, so that's all the volunteer stuff. What's the day job like?
At the moment, I don't have a day job.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I lost my. I was doing principal cybersecurity training and threat emulation at Google, but lost that job back in January. And it's a very tough market out there right now. So
I'm
haven't been
sorry,
able
dude.
to find any work. Been taking the time to reconnect with my family. My job at Google was a lot of travel. I wound up doing 120 flights in last year. So it was about 50% travel. So I'm like I said, it's bittersweet. Everybody, my mortgage company especially wants me to have a job, and but
that's true.
I've been able to use this time to reconnect with my daughter. I have a young daughter, and I feel a little bad for how much time I spent away from her last year. But we're having a great time now and
That's
doing all kinds
good.
of little fun projects around the house.
So are you teaching her how to build electronics and solder? And there it is. That's awesome.
Yep.
That is very awesome. So if you could land the dream opportunity, what's the dream opportunity?
That's a great question. I still consider myself a senior analyst. I'm certed to do all kinds of things, but I just need to be in a role where I can influence other people. I like to force multiply. I like to have the ability to mentor and encourage people to learn.
I mean,
Senior
that's obvious by
operators,
your volunteer stuff. Like that's
yeah.
just
Oh, and I'm a chronic volunteer.
yeah.
But no, I've been in the executive position a couple times, so I can operate at the strategic level. But I really have to have my fingers in that tactical world still, so that I can sit side by side with my analysts and show them a thing or two or learn a thing or two.
Right. You know what? I have
Have
seen
you
so
ever
many
thought about education?
Will, calm down. So excited. Look, why are you trying to poach my guest, Will? Look,
Yeah, I know.
Well, when it comes to salary, that's a very difficult thing for me to do.
Yeah.
Will's like, you got to be in it for the passion, okay? A passion thing. Passion. And then the mortgage company is like, what do you mean they pay you in passion? It's a lot of love. Don't you feel it coming from me to you right now? It's love.
Yeah, I try to pay my mortgage company with passion too. They just
I
pat
did
me
that.
on the head and put me back in my corner.
Yeah, we tried to do that once. We found out they were not passion. They were not the
No,
passion.
no,
No,
interesting how
absolutely
that works.
not. No, not at all. Sage is watching too. Got to start her early. Hey,
That's
Quinn.
right. That's
So
right.
that's my kid's Uncle Quinn. He's an honorary Uncle Quinn, and they've just had a new baby. She's you met Quinn. He's the one that was at the con that had all the hair. Jack, do you remember? Do you remember somebody with a lot of hair, like a fro situation?
I think I
Legit.
do. A lot of people pass in front of me, but I do try to
I
remember
know.
as many as I can.
Yeah, he was he
I
has the best wife ever.
I do remember him. I do
Yeah,
remember him.
He has the best
Yes.
wife ever. He was like, deuces, I'm going to a conference in New Orleans. You got this, right? And she was like, totally.
One of my best NOLAcon memories was last year teaching a 7-year-old girl how to solder.
That's awesome.
I was really hoping she'd come back because I wanted to know if she kept doing it. But
Yeah.
this young girl. My favorite part is she burned herself. And you know, my daughter was 7 once, and if she ever burnt herself with a soldering iron, that thing is going to end up right next to Rachel's lock in the drywall. But no, this little girl, she burned herself, and she got herself pretty good. But she's like, no, I'm going to keep going. And she just kept going. And she hacked her badge so much. She had more LEDs on that badge than it was ever designed to accommodate. She was coming back for new batteries every 5 minutes because she just put so many LEDs on it. The thing was, I mean, she could probably do Morse code beacons to the moon.
Okay, I only got 5 on mine. If I had room for more, I would have also been there. Girl,
she was inventing paths. She
Yeah.
was inventing ways to put more LEDs on the board.
Yes.
I love it.
I felt bad for taking up too much space because there was such a wait going on. But yeah, I put as many LEDs as were available in a quick, short amount of time.
Well, you realize what's going to happen. The next one, you're going to have a whole bunch of people showing up with those little small soldering irons, you know, and they're going to be branching off into the hallways.
They were.
They're going to be, okay.
Oh, that was happening. Yeah, there were a handful of people that had the little USB-C powered ones. And they're just, can I grab some components? I'm doing it out in the hallway. Like, oh my goodness.
It was so fun. It's so fun. And I got to tell you, look, there were, and side note for just vendor behavior at a conference. And also maybe a small suggestion to NOLAcon. I overheard a vendor, I'm not going to name them, where there were 2 different strategies happening. Okay. One was, don't leave the table. That was strategy number 1, right? And the other salesperson at same company X said, no, I'm going to go and sit at the soldering village, at the lockpick village, because that's where the people are.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to talk to the people. I think, just saying, maybe the vendor tables should be around the outside of that room with like the lockpick and the Build-A-Badge in the middle. I'm just saying, somebody needs to suggest it, see how it sticks, see what the thoughts are, like bounce it off the powers that be, but just a suggestion. Because, and on top of that, that hallway is so cramped. Like on the way to speaker rooms, like the table is too much. We need more room for activities. Like there's so much happening, but I think it should be there. That way the vendors can engage and be there, because it was like these 2 separate things, and you had to wade through the vendor thing, you know, going, excuse me, sorry, pardon me, excuse me, sorry, pardon me.
Yeah.
The whole time. So
that's a great suggestion. No, that is a great suggestion. And we had a little hot wash afterwards. We were talking about things we could do better. And I'll definitely suggest that. I was kind of thinking also of having solder stations set up for people who already know how to solder, who don't need the help.
Yeah.
And then like have scheduled like every 15 minutes we'll have a learn to solder class, and then you can go over there and solder.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's nice. Yeah, that way you get people rotated through a little faster.
Yep, and then I can actually take a break every now and then.
Yeah, right. Also, yeah,
pretty much 10 hours a day, every day for me.
You did not take a break. It was insane.
People were bringing me food, which, you know, shout out to those people who came and brought me food and drinks. And
if you really want to excel, she's gonna kill me.
What?
You invite Rachel to be part of the planning.
Oh yeah, no, I would do that. I like my local groups.
Because she has insights that are just phenomenal.
Aww.
So just a thought.
I can make an introduction and see where it goes from there.
Well, I know Rob already. Like, I was chitty-chatting with Rob on the side.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's who I was going to introduce you to anyway.
Yeah, I know Rob.
Rob is the center of the NOLAcon universe. So.
I know, but he never asks for help because Rob is just, I don't know if he wants it. I don't know. So I'm like, looks like you got it, Rob.
Well, he's been doing this for a long time, and he's got a lot of it down to clockwork. But I think at this point, he he's looking for ways that we can grow the conference, right? It's a small
Okay.
conference, and he wants it to stay small. But he said this last go round, I don't want it to be big. I just want it to be a little bigger. So
Right. Right. Because, like, let's think about how many attendees were there. Was it like maybe 300?
it was I believe we were right around 200.
Right
Uh,
around
we
200?
we
Yeah,
we
that's
build
fine.
we build 400 badges every year. We had 200 attendees, and this year, we got caught up. A couple people weren't able to make it due to the storms in Texas. A lot of
Yeah, there were a
flights
lot.
got canceled, and I know a few close friends I was hoping to reconnect with. They weren't able to make it. They just opted not to go. But so that was one thing. But in a perfect universe, 400 to 500 people at NOLAcon is really what we want.
Yeah, we can get there.
Yeah, we
Oh, man,
can.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, Rachel's gonna help us.
I will. I will definitely help. Just tell me what all you got to do is you got to go. So this is what we think is wrong and this is what we think is right. And then I will sit down and go. It's like just all you do is wind me up and you set me down and then I go. And then I'll come back and I'll go, I fixed it. And then you go, yay. And then that's it. That's all there is. There's
I love
nothing
it.
else. All I need is, yes, you fix it. Okay.
I can attest to that, right? Because one of the things that really helps in any event and all that is being able to accurately size up the passion spots, accurately size up the people motivators, and then join that with the creative ideas. And Rachel, you do that in spades, man.
Oh
That
man,
you just
one of my favorite things that I did at NOLAcon that was that I had all the other vendors looking at me like, why didn't we think of that? Was okay, so we're all at these tables, right? And I'm at the Secure Nation table, right? Because that's home base. And I'm really bad at staying at the Secure Nation table. So number one, we did a giveaway. All right. And the giveaway sheet was a proof that Rachel was sending people to our table. One. Okay. So I had metrics. You want metrics? That's how you get metrics. And also, I didn't have to stand there. So, and on top of that, I noticed more people were hanging out around our table because they didn't feel like anybody was going to pressure them into doing anything. Just saying, it's an idea. Walk away from the table. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Second thing that was really fun was at the end. So I was in charge of table setup and tear down. That was mine. Okay, I was gonna do that for our team, and I did the setup. And then when it came to tear down, right, I waited till the last talk was leaving when I was getting ready to tear down, and I had swag left a little bit, not much. We brought things that you would want at a conference, right? Because you forget to take notes. So we had little Secure Nation books and my favorite pens ever. They're my favorite pens. They're like these rubbery pens with these little rubber tops that actually work on your device touchscreens. They're amazing. I told John Davis, I was like, never buy another pen. This is the pen. Anyhow, I put them together in little kits so you can just grab them and keep walking. Okay. I had some left. I did not want to take them home. We also had t-shirts. We passed out so many coffee table talk t-shirts. So many.
I didn't.
People,
Why did I not get it? I didn't
I
see
was
a T-shirt.
I was down to smalls, man. People were like, "My kids will love this." I was like, "Yes,
Perfect
they
for
will."
me.
There's gonna be little tiny humans running around New Orleans, Baton Rouge, South Louisiana area that they grab a cup and circle up, and I'm gonna be like,
See,
so
and hindsight with hackers and hops.
yeah,
It was a group of adults, but now we do a lot of things to try to help high school programs and kids. I mean,
yeah,
we don't have age restrictions to be part of hackers and hops. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we host our things in breweries, which in Colorado breweries are kind of a family thing.
they are here too. We have one in Denham Springs. It's called Le Chien, and it's a family
But I
atmosphere.
but I wonder like how it would be perceived of like a teenager running around with a hackers and hop shirt with a little hop on there and like
I don't know. I think it would be fine. It's not like it's hackers and heroin. It's fine. I
That's
don't
my
think that's
affiliate
bad.
group actually. I didn't know how you heard about them, but
Well,
heroin.
I just
Fine.
sometimes I just hit nails right on the head. Um, but no, I'm really excited. So anyway, they were all clearing out of the last talk, and you know how you remember seeing me get people to the solder table to do their own stuff instead of get somebody else to do their stuff? It was like that, but I was like, you want this book. Like as they're walking out, I'm grabbing them, and I'm like, did you get a notebook? You didn't get a notebook. You should take 2 notebooks. That's your notebook tax for not taking one the first time. Now you have to take 2. And like cleared my table out within probably 3.5 minutes. Like when the crowd started,
That's perfect.
the other vendors were like, and like after all the crowd backed out, I just took my little tablecloth, folded it up, put my little banner down, put it back in the suitcase. I was like, done.
That's
Did it.
It's funny you mentioned that. Last year, the first big membership surge we had at Hackers and Hops was at NOLAcon. We had one of the Hackers and Hops members gave a talk, and he mentioned Hackers and Hops at the end. He's like, it was a call to action. He's like, get out there, go share your knowledge, create a group. You guys are the most professionals, in the industry. Go share, go multiply. And just like this person over here, and he pointed to me in the back of the room, he's like, creating Hackers and Hops is a great thing. So I just stood out in the hall, and as people were funneling out, I just brought up a Hackers and Hops Discord QR code. And the first few people I explained, it's like, yeah, join our Discord. But then I didn't want to hear myself say it again. So people just started walking out, and they're just like, oh, the last person scanned that, so I'm going to scan that. And then everybody just started scanning. A couple people were like, what are we scanning? As they're scanning, you're like, oh, it's just a link to my spyware network. Just scan it and keep moving.
The one thing, just to bring to your attention, when you go to make a T-shirt, this may sound really weird, right? Our T-shirt has this on the back.
It does.
Right?
It's one of my favorites. You can hack it at PIMA.
Right. And so it basically gives the communication right away. Community college, and what's about. The really weird thing that we get from this is that if you find yourself in like, oh, I don't know, on Arby's or wherever, you get people coming up to you, start saying, I think I got hacked. My friend, somebody or other, whoever, I think they're into my phone. I think they're doing, and you start getting dinged everywhere for, can you help me get past this? Which gives a really interesting perspective on how much of that crap is happening out there.
It is.
We have students that have made huge differences because one, she was a kind of an abused wife and got rid of the guy, but he was heavily into her networks and all that kind of stuff. This is prevalent all over the place.
Yep.
And this is why all this is so needed desperately, badly. So when you start putting out a T-shirt like that, be ready. Get those resources ready to go because there are folks that are hurting and in need.
Yeah.
Yep. They really are. Quinn brought up a good point, by the way, about the QR codes. Am I the only one who thinks QR codes at a security convention is absolutely wild? No, you're not. We all understand how stupidly funny that is.
Yeah.
We all get it. I make them, and I laugh at myself when I make them. I'm like, we spent a good, 30 seconds making jokes about how that's not going to lead you anywhere terrible.
Yeah, and it's, it's the rose and the thorn, right? We love our convenience. But we know the risk behind it. I'll say the 303. It's one of the oldest hacking groups in the United States out here in Denver, Colorado. Did an experiment a few years back with a QR code. You'll see them everywhere. But it basically, when you scan it, it will show you all the information your device is willfully leaking to these companies every time you scan it, and it's just meant to bring awareness. And I've put Hackers and Hops Discord QR codes on over top of menu, scan here for the menu, and then I got a new member in the Discord. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's all good fun. Many years ago, I had a QR code that would take you to a site that said QR codes can be malicious. Just so anytime you scanned it, it just took you to a website and told you that.
I love your free security awareness program. Yeah. I love that. That is awesome. That's great. I love everything about that, actually. Now can we duplicate that? I need that for
Yeah.
so many people
Oh
in my
yeah,
house.
those could end up on gas
Yeah,
pumps across the country. That was
Everywhere. Everywhere. And you gotta I find that you can print them in three sizes, like small, medium, and large.
you
And if
can.
you have them in your bag, any restaurant menu, any QR code you run into,
Yep.
and yeah, you can put your QR code on top of somebody else's QR code,
Yes,
and
you
the
can.
phone will decide which one it wants to go after.
Yeah.
So we did this in Vegas. They have these big QR code things, and we just put another QR code over it. And so when people are taking selfies, it's hitting our QR code. Um,
Nice. That's not scary at all.
no, yeah, it
I'm
is.
glad you're not mean.
Right?
Glad you're a nice person. That's a good human over there. Nobody. Look, I've always said my eldest kid, he's a little bit Sheldon Cooper. All right, it's not no lie. He's a little bit Sheldon Cooper. Okay, and Josh and I have always said that he's just one traumatic experience away from being a supervillain. There he goes. There goes the supervillain. Did you see him? Over here. So we try real hard not to be that traumatic experience. I feel like Jack, you also are one traumatic experience away from being a supervillain. So don't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Don't do that.
I fell on the right side of that. So
Yeah, I think that that's pretty clear for most of our community. And back to, QR codes, we understand what the risk is and we share it anyway. It's because it is convenient, right? But isn't that what we all do in our day-to-day jobs is the business wants us to do stuff that we're like, that's a terrible idea. And
yep.
then we're like, but it's the yes, but, right? The yes and instead of being the department of no, now we're the yes and or
No,
but
I mean,
department.
TikTok is a perfect example. I
It
mean,
is. It is. And it's all about, just making the business flow, right? Because if you take away all the conveniences and try to make them do something that's more difficult but also more secure, they're not going to do it. So it's not more secure anyway. They're going to go around it, and that's
yeah,
worse.
yeah. It's just like using our real names. You'd go back 20 years ago in the hacker community circles. You never use your real name, even with your best friends. You never use your real name. But nowadays, if you want to spread awareness and you want to help grow the future of cybersecurity, you need to be a face to the name as well. So
Yep. Yep. 100%. And that's the way we're headed.
soon we'll
That
all be AI faces.
that Discord, that join the Discord, that's not my Discord. I'm not going to run a Discord. I don't have time for that. But Jack has time for that, and it is up there, and that's the one that takes you to the Hackers and Hops one. It's the one I joined this morning. I tested it out because I at least do that for you. I test out my own QR to make sure they go and they do the things I say they're going to do. But yeah, do that. Why not? And if you're not interested in it, go share it with your teams. I know we've got quite a few C-levels tuning in today, and there are some that are going to be watching over the weekend. Share this kind of stuff with your teams. Let them know there are resources out
yeah.
there. You don't have to be the end all resource for your teams. Just know that, because that's a
Yeah.
load. That's a load on a leader to be the one that's providing mentorship constantly and resource sharing constantly and everything else. And then to be able to also do this strategic thinking and create a pipeline to keep talent coming in and create a wonderful environment to retain the talent that's there, right? These groups are so imperative and supplemental to what you're building within your own companies. Encourage them to be a part of them, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm in South Louisiana. I'm joining the Discord, right? Because I can't meet up with Jack and the group in person, but it's a great resource to have.
And don't
Absolutely. Will's
and
Will group's got one too. They've got a Discord too that I'm also a part of. Now, do I silence it Monday through Friday? Yeah, I do. Because they chat a lot, and that's great. I'm not annoyed. I'm just y'all are noisy, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful problem to have, and it's awesome. I love the Discord groups that have been popping up over the years that are so helpful. And I mean, Jack's gonna do live streaming from there. Come, he's a good human, man. Like,
and Rachel, you touched on something I wanna kind of pull a thread, and that is, encouraging people to share their knowledge. And
yeah,
one of the things Hackers and Hops is built on the community helping the community. I don't have I don't know everything. I came up in this career just like everybody else who was in Hackers and Hops. And one of the things that I struggled with personally, if you would have interviewed me 7 years ago, I would have been a wallflower. I didn't talk much. Hackers and Hops has brought something else out of me.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but one thing to always keep in mind, I would always not, I would hesitate to teach people things because I would think to myself, well, everyone knows that. Everyone knows Nmap scans. Everyone knows what a vulnerability, what Nessus does, and uh, don't never throw that away. That is such
Yeah.
that's such a self toxin that you're just imposing on yourself. There's enough toxicity in the world.
Yeah.
Don't be your own worst enemy. There's
No.
always someone newer than you.
Yep.
There's always somebody just starting their journey, and even if you just learned uh, what the three-way handshake is, go share that knowledge. That is groundbreaking information for somebody who's new, and you could help encourage other people to do the same and just keep this trend of knowledge sharing alive.
And
Yep.
I would add to that too, right? How many times, both of you, have we come across in our industry folks that have been in this industry for quite some time? The complexity that is in what we do, everybody has holes.
Oh yeah.
Nobody
Yep.
knows it all. Nobody puts it together. So never ever assume that these
Uh-uh.
people that have been in the business, all that, know all this information,
Yep. I've made
because
that mistake, by the
they
way,
don't.
at at an
Yeah.
executive level. I've made that mistake of assuming that another executive, even leaders above me, that seemed and also claimed to be deeply technical, and I do not claim to be deeply technical. I am not deeply technical, okay? Am I interested enough that like all of my isms suddenly dive down a rabbit hole and I have shoved 18 hours worth of reading into my brain hole? Yes. Okay. I'm that person. If I'm like, what's that? I consume, I forget to drink water, I get dehydrated very quickly. It's a good thing I have a support human. Anyway, I have come across folks that do proclaim to be deeply technical. And I'm like, do you understand why this bit of infrastructure is imperative and should be priority one to your network? They don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't. And I have to go back and teach them. And I'm not even technical, right? And if I feel like the words that are coming out of my mouth hole are not doing an adequate enough job, I will go grab the person that is, in charge of architecture and engineering and go, now you say things.
Yeah,
Let's try this again.
we are all responsible for our own growth, and
Yeah.
if you wait for people to feed you, then you're gonna starve. So never be ashamed to ask a question. Never be ashamed because you don't know some inner working of some widget or gizmo. Ask the question because somebody else probably spent hours, 18 hours feeding their brain hole, as Rachel would say,
Yeah.
on that topic, and now we get the benefit. But you have to ask the question.
Right.
Ask the
And
question and learn something cool.
And
there's
that's the
value in that
advantage of
because
these types of communities, right?
yeah,
Because um, I don't know what it is about this industry, from the background, how it grew up, but we have so many people in this industry that feel that they have to hold their tails higher than everybody else, right? We have to obliterate that concept and start getting into helping each other and how make create a culture to where it is safe to do so, to
yeah,
where that becomes the norm, to explore and be able to say, I don't know that. Anyone else here know that I need to step up, right? And if we can do that, because you just talked about NOLAcon all over the place. Any con you go to, you get that. You realize how many gaps and holes there are.
yeah,
Jack, you have a whole community built upon that. I have a whole community built on that. We have to change this, everybody. We have to get a higher degree of cooperation going across the board.
yep. Speaking of that, I think this is a good little mini segue. Yep, thanks, Meg. Meg is so good. She's like 5 minutes, Rachel. Okay, next week, and I made the event already this morning. It's up on the Secure Nation page. And look, Meg's so cool. She put the QR code in the corner over there above Jack. Go to that one. It's going to take you to the Secure Nation LinkedIn page. Follow and scroll down. It'll be the second post on the landing page. is next week's coffee table talk. Are you guys dancing? You're just dancing. Do it. Are you going to make it happen? Can you get the roll going?
we're
This is why we shouldn't test in production.
I think we got it now, though.
Are you
Yeah,
waiting?
there we go.
So should do more of this. So next week we're gonna have Jared Coulter. He's coming on. He's gonna be very blinky because he's just getting LASIK next week. So he warned me that he's gonna be doing this a lot, and I said that's fine. Everybody will just think you're flirting with them. It'll be because you're gonna be batting your eyelashes. Grassroots. Have you heard of this con? Grassroots con?
I have heard of it.
Yes. So
They
Jared,
didn't call me to make a badge, so it's not on my. It's not high.
Jared, call Jack. He'll make a badge. It'll go blinky light and be awesome. And Jack is amazing. And he'll teach everybody how to solder, no matter if they're 7 or not. We might need to get some kind of safety waivers signed. But yes, Grassroots. He's gonna come talk to us about it. It's coming up. They've got some fantastic speakers. That's going to be next week on the 31st. And then June the 7th, we're going to have Philip Wiley is going to be here with us to sit and chitter chatter. He's amazing. Him and John had a great time at the con. Jack, did you get a chance to hang out with Phil?
I did. I even taught him how to solder.
What? Look at that.
I had a couple celebrities drop in besides you, Rachel.
I'm not a celebrity, but
Philip, yep, I taught Philip how to solder. I also taught dual core. Anybody who's a big nerdcore rap fan, dual core is the artist behind the Hack All the Things, the cyber hacking anthem, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I taught Int 80 and the rest of the dual core team how to solder as well.
See, that's cool. Where are those pictures at, Jack? We need those posted.
It's on my phone.
I need pictures posted.
I'll send you pictures.
He's inviting you to hack his phone.
Oh,
I already did that.
I'll send it to you.
Thanks. You're the best. So
That way Rachel doesn't have to say, click this QR code.
look, you guys, I can't even blink right. Like or wink. It's winking, right? When you do it right, it's winking. Am I doing it? I look like a psycho. This is not.
The trick is the head tilt.
Is that it?
There you go. There you go.
I feel like I'm blinking both eyes. I don't think it's working out well. Some things I do really, really right, and then I try to wink, and I look like a psychotic sociopath. Anyway, this has been the Coffee Table Talks. We're so glad Jack you keep coming. Hang out with us.
No, thanks for inviting me.
I'm out of coffee. That means it's time to go. And I'm sad. Y'all go follow stuff. Come check us out next week. Jack, thank you.
You're welcome.
For coming.
I appreciate the invite.
Thank you for teaching me how to solder.
I'll be there again next year. So anybody who missed it, come see me. Come say hi.
And dude, if you're ever in Tucson, come by.
I can just drive down there. You're not that far. I drove to NOLAcon, so
he did.
Hey, anytime you're in the neighborhood, you got a red carpet tour, and you can hang out with the folks in the range.
Oh, I'd love to. Oh yeah, we'll connect.
Oh, you can bring your daughter too, right, Will? Can you bring his daughter? Yeah, it's open to the public.
Yeah, it'd be a fun thing for her to see too.
I thought it was cool.
Let's put something together.
I think so.
I like all the things. All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend for everybody that's in the U.S.
Don't eat too much. Make good choices.
Make good choices. That's right.
Oh.
And remember, if you make a mistake, it's okay. You can try again. You get better every day. These are the affirmations I do with my kids every day.
Yep.
And
have your bail buddy arranged beforehand.
That's right. You are a good friend. That's the other one. You are a good friend. Happy summer, everyone. Thanks for kicking off. Yes, you guys missed it. Meg in pre-show was like rocking Hawaiian shirt and lei and like a fun summer hat. She's
total fire.
I love her. I love her so much. Oh, you guys go connect with Meg too. Like she's sort of new. She's newish. Go be friends with Meg. Go find her.
Meg is awesome.
Yeah, she's the best. All right. We'll see you guys next week. We love you so much. Be safe out there.
Cheers.
Everybody wave.